hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. Hey, hey, the Cubs are gonna hit today, they're gonna pitch today, they're gonna field today. Come what may, the Cubs are gonna win today. Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. They got the hustle, they got the muscle, the Chicago Cubs are on their way. Mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. The Cubs are gonna hit today, they're gonna pitch today, they're gonna field today. Come what may, the Cubs are gonna win today. Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it, the Cubs are on their way. They got the hustle, they got the muscle, the Chicago Cubs have come to play. The Chicago Cubs are on their way.
Hey, beautiful. Jerry Kendall going to his right to take that hard smash on a tricky hop. Fired over to Boucher, and it's one away here in the top of the eighth. Leon Wagner. Hitless so far in this ball game, as are all the rest of the Cardinals. Hard ground ball to Ed Boucher. Waves the pitcher off. He'll make the unassisted put out. That's two away. And now here comes Stan the Man. We'd indicated to you. Musial probably would pinch hit for Flood. Here he comes. Here's a fellow who this year, starting this season, has a lifetime batting average of .337. The first pitch, big swing. And with every pitch that this man throws, a roar goes up from these 33,000 fans here today. This year, Musial is a .264 hitter, 12 runs batted in, 3 home runs, 3 doubles. Has his name in the record book in some 38 departments. He takes that pitch. Ball one, strike one, 2 out. Man, oh man. Ball one, strike 2. It was Musial who last year, within the space of just a few days, not only ruined a no-hitter out here, but ruined a run out on the West Coast against San Francisco. And also against Mike McCormick of the San Francisco Giants this year. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Holy mackerel. Oh! Musial strikes out. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. And again, more than 30,000 fans at Wrigley Field stand up and give Don Cardwell a tremendous ovation as he walks off the field. At the end of the top of the 8th inning, the Cubs come to bat with a score. Cubs 4, St. Louis nothing. I guarantee you, I'm just as excited as everybody out here, but I'd like to take just a moment to ask you a question. Are you planning a drive in the country or a trip? Well, make it a happy motoring experience by stopping at an Oklahoma station on the way for a free Oklahoma road map covering that vicinity in which you'll be traveling. And while you're at it, put a Tiger in your tank for surging power and added mileage. Drive in at that sign of Oklahoma. All right, Jack.
Jack Brickhouse back with you once again now as we go into the Cub half of the 8th. Stan Musial has gone to first base. Flood is out of the ball game, and Bill White has moved to center field. The batter is Boucher. Cubs out in front by a score of 4-0. There's a very high foul ball. And third baseman Kenny Boyer has it, out number 1. Here's Ernie Banks. He got a home run the last time up. One away. Nobody on. Score of the ball game, the Cubs 4, St. Louis nothing. The outfield to the left and deep naturally on Banks. There is strike 1. Well, of course, it's impossible to imagine a more excited crowd than we have right now. 1-1. Some time ago, they started a cheer on every pitch that Cardwell made. 1-1. Last half of the 8th. There's a ground ball out to the third baseman Boyer. A few steps toward first, and the throw picked out of the dirt by Musial. And Banks is out. That's 2 down. Here comes the Moose. 2 out, nobody on. Come on, Moose. Got to walk the last time up. Strike 1. Lindy McDaniel and Cardwell, both starting pitchers, have really had some fun today. 1-1. McDaniel had a shutout going until the Cubs turned in the 5th inning. Then they got 1, then 2 more in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. Now we're in the 8th. 1-1. That bounces in. Ball 2, strike 1. The Cubs have gotten 7 hits off Lindy McDaniel. Ball 2, strike 1. Catcher in that picture is Hal Smith. Foul ball. 2-2. The Cardinals with Wagner, White, and Cunningham in left, center, and right. Boyer. Shannon, Spencer, and Musial, the infield from third to first. There's a ground ball to the left of second. Pick up the throw by Darrell Spencer, who has moved over to shortstop. 3 up and 3 down. Well, you know what's on everybody's mind now. The score of this ball game at the end of 8 full innings is the Chicago Cubs 4, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
Last night I dreamed I owned a bushel of Oklahoma coupons. I took them to the Oklahoma Trading Post, and there I got silverware, chinaware, a handy hairdryer, a radio, a vanity case, a new electric fryer. Oh, so many, many things. But now I'm not dreaming. These are real Oklahoma prize coupons. And this is a real Oklahoma Trading Post. There's one close to where you live. Inside you'll find a shopper's paradise. Hundreds and hundreds of gifts just like they're listed in the Oklahoma Prize catalog. Take what you want. It's yours in exchange for Oklahoma Prize coupons. Be smart. Fill up with Oklahoma High-Q gasolines. They save you money every mile you...
We have a pinch hitter now as we go into the 9th inning for the Cardinals. Carl Sawatsky, one of the catchers, is going to pinch hit in place of regular catcher Hal Smith. All right, Cardwell, all set. Here we go. It's the 9th inning. Fastball fouled into the screen, strike one. Sawatsky is hitting .278. He has 10 hits this year, 2 doubles and 2 home runs. One of the homers against the Cubs. We'll no doubt get a pinch hitter for Lindy McDaniel, and then the leadoff man Cunningham will be up. George Crowe has picked up a bat. He'll bat in place of McDaniel. The score is 4-0 in favor of the Cubs. And it's strike one in the 9th inning. Don Cardwell, 24 years old. Getting a sign from veteran catcher Del Rice, trying to steer this kid past this 9th inning. Watch it. Fastball high outside. Ball one, strike one. His best pitch is his fastball. His curve has never been known to be an outstanding major league type curve. His slider has great possibilities, and he does throw a good change-up pitch. But the fastball is the trick with this guy so far. There's a fastball swung on. 1-2. Ball one, strike two. One and two. Over 33,000 throats responding on every pitch. Watch it. Fastball. There's a well-hit ball deep to right. It is caught by Altman. Oh, brother. Woo! Man. Sawatsky gave that one a very good ride, and George Altman went all the way back to the right field wall and made a one-handed grab. That's the best ball they've hit on him yet. Now here is Crowe. And I can remember this guy breaking up a no-hitter on Hacker with a homer up at Milwaukee a few years ago. George Crowe. One out. Fastball high outside, ball one. Crowe is a .250 hitter at this point. He has 3 hits all year in 12 at-bats. All 3 hits are singles. Ball one. One out, 9th inning. High outside, another fastball. Ball two, 2-0. Time is called as Rice takes a few steps out in front of the plate. And Cardwell calls him out all the way. Ball two, no strikes. Ball two. That's a fastball strike. He finally got that ball down. He's thrown that fastball high and outside on the first 2 pitches to Crowe. He got one in there high to Sawatsky and got away with it as a result of Altman's good catch. That's a well-hit ball, but it's in the field. Ashburn backs up. He's there. Ritchie has it. Oh, brother. 2 out. Joe Cunningham is the batter. Everybody in the ballpark is standing up. Ladies and gentlemen, if the miracle takes place, Vince Lloyd will be down there. He's leaving now. And we'll grab this guy on our home plate camera. Cunningham, the batter. Cardwell fires. That's a fastball outside. Ball one. Cunningham is hitless in 3 at-bats today in this second game. And he has 3 for 14 in the series. Joe Cunningham. 2 out. Last half of the 9th. One more now. Foul ball up into the screen. 1-1. One more out. And we will have witnessed the most sensational break-in that any pitcher has ever had with a ball club in the history of this game. One and one. Here it comes. Inside. Ball two, strike one. Ball two, strike one. Rice gives his signal. Fastball, high inside. He turned away from ball three. Ball three, strike one. till now, he has faced one over the minimum number of batters. He gave up a walk to Grammas in the first inning. Grammas has been the only base runner against Cardwell so far. Ball 3, strike 1. Come on, Don, get it in there. That is a strike. And here's Cunningham hollering his head off to the umpire, Tony Benson. Ball 3, strike 2, 2 out. 9th inning. Watch it. There's a drive on the line to left field. Come on, Moose. He did it. He did it. Moran made a fabulous catch. It's a no-hitter. A no-hitter. And what a catch that Moran made. Oh, brother, what a catch he made. They're swarming all over him down there. Vince Lloyd jumping in there with the Andy Frain ushers. We're trying to get him for an interview. Fans streaming onto the field. Don Cardwell has just thrown a no-hitter in the most fabulous break-in in the history of baseball for a pitcher just joining a club. Now you see Cardwell being escorted through this mob of milling fans over where we're trying to get him on the WGN TV camera and for WGN radio. It may be getting out of hand there. It is really something. People coming out of the stands, pouring onto the field. We have, as you see, quite a squad of WGN television personnel and Andy Frain ushers trying their best to maneuver this guy over to our camera. But you have to wonder if it's possible to do it at this point.
Get him out of here.
We got it done. We got it done.
Notice this wide shot. You can see how many thousands of people are pouring out there. And
Here it is now. We got room. All right, get out of here now. Let him get out of here.
Don,
let's give it to Vince. He's got a microphone on his hand.
Don, we are now on television and radio. And I know that all you want to do is get away from this mob.
Oh,
I've never seen anything like it.
I'm thrilled. I don't know what to say. I'm just lucky.
You ever come close before?
No, I never have.
Never dreamed about this one, I imagine?
I was hoping for it. I was just hoping to win.
What were you thinking about when they sent in Musial?
Oh, geez, I was scared because he's always hit me so good. I didn't know.
I'm going to ask you to turn around so you can see up there. What about Cunningham, an awfully dangerous hitter?
Hey, he's too tough to pitch to. I wouldn't want another man up there beside him. He's too rough.
Was your heart in your mouth when that ball went out there to left field?
The one in right field, too.
It was awfully well hit.
I know all of them. They came up with 4 good plays on me today. They saved me.
Kendall made a nice one for you.
Kendall and Altman and Boucher and the one at Moose caught.
Did you ever shake Rice off?
Well, just to get the guy to thinking that we were going to throw another pitch.
But you stayed with his call all the time, actually.
Yeah.
When did you first realize it?
5th inning?
5th?
Yeah. Some kids over there kept telling me that I'd retired so many in a row. Hey, I'm going to have to go. I'm Robert.
Did anybody talk about it?
No, nobody said anything. Thank goodness.
I don't know. I want to be sure that this guy, that he has a real good convoy here of ushers. Don, I tell you, I'm a little afraid to let loose of you right now.
Well, I tell you,
because
it's
they're
going to be
having
a
a
little
tough
rough.
time keeping this crowd away. And I'm afraid to turn you loose, because anything could happen.
I don't know what to say. I'm just thrilled to death. I'm just lucky. I'm glad the Lord was with me today.
Don, we know that you've got that terrific fastball. Did you throw anything much besides that today?
I threw a few curveballs and a few changeups.
Do you think you've ever been sharper?
Well, a few times.
But you had lady luck with you, too.
I did. And I had the Lord with me, too. He was on my side today. Hey, let me go. I'm going to get hurt in here.
Can we get some ushers here and help him
Go
out?
ahead and get him through the pass. All right, Don, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Well, as you can see, Don Cardwell, escorted by thousands and thousands and thousands of fans who just couldn't contain themselves, is being escorted now to the Chicago Cubs dressing room, a new dressing room, which this year is at the left field corner. I just can't remember a bigger thrill in baseball, and I'm sure that the fans here feel the same way about it. What a day to do it. With 33,543 paid admissions in the stands. The first time in a Cub uniform, just been traded, had only won one ball game this year, had only won 17 in his life in the major league. Don Cardwell came up with the most magnificent break-in performance we've ever seen a pitcher do. Now, it's also very coincidental that the no-hitter was thrown at a time when the Chicago Cubs needed it the most, and also at a time when the president of the National League was in the stands to watch it. Now, the last no-hitter that was thrown was actually the one by Harvey Haddix of Pittsburgh in the National League against Milwaukee, but of course Harvey lost that when he gave up a hit in the 13th inning and lost it. But the last no-hitter to stand up was thrown by Hoyt Wilhelm of Baltimore in the American League in 1958 against the Yankees. That same year, Jim Bunning of Detroit also got one. The last one before that was in the American League when Bob Keegan of the White Sox no-hit Washington. That was 1957. The last time we had a National League no-hitter where the winner was where the pitcher got the win was when Sal Magley with Brooklyn then no-hit Philadelphia in September of 1956. This is the second no-hitter in the history of Channel 9. In 1955, Sam Jones of the Chicago Cubs accommodated our 1,000th Channel 9 telecast by throwing a no-hitter against Pittsburgh. And it's such a marvelous coincidence that we have the president of the National League, Warren Giles, here at the time this no-hitter was thrown. Now, Warren, I've just said that this is the most sensational break-in that any pitcher ever had with a new ball club, probably in the history of baseball.
Oh, by far, Jack, and I have never seen such a demonstration of enthusiasm at a baseball park, whether it was at the World Series or winning a pennant or anything else than I've seen on this field today. Fortunately, I saw Sam Jones no-hitter here, too.
That's right, you did.
Yes.
You were here that day.
Yes, I was here.
I remember that very well. As a matter of fact, Warren, would it be possible for us to just give you write a rider to your contract and make you spend more time than ever at Wrigley Field from here on out?
I was sitting on the bench, Jack, just before the ball game, and Don was there. Don Cardwell and I were there all alone. And I said, well, boy, you're going to pitch in a good ballpark, and the wind is for you. And I said, do you feel strong? He said, yes, but I never felt quite so nervous before. And I
nervous
said,
in front of the very first pitch?
Yes. And I said, well, after you get the first man out, I said, all that nervousness will leave, yes. But he said, I wish I was out there right this minute. This will be about 5 minutes before the ball game.
I'm counting his strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts in the ball game. Of course, in the 9th inning, they were getting to him a little bit. Sawatsky sent Altman way back to the wall. Crow hit a routine fly to Richie Ashburn, but how about that catch that Moran made to save that no-hitter off that sinking liner by Joe Cunningham? John, come on in here. Here's John Holland.
One nice thing about this, Jack, is that too often things like this happen with only 2,500 or 3,000 people to see them, and it's great that this was on television, and also that 33,000 some odd people could enjoy it out here and participate in it, too.
Absolutely. John Holland, the general manager and vice president of the Cubs. John, you're the fellow who made the deal for Cardwell. Congratulations, boy.
Well, thank you, Jack. We didn't expect this, though.
Well, that's really something. Now, what were some of the things that that were in Cardwell's favor when you dealt for him, and why, for example, did you pick him out of all the Philadelphia pitchers to try to deal for?
Well, he's young, Jack, and of course he has great stuff. We knew that. He's in a class, I'd say, right along with Anderson Hobby. It fits into our program, but most of all, we felt that he was a fellow that could pick our staff up. Naturally, we didn't die on every pitch there that last inning, but I'm sure happy for him. Naturally, we didn't expect a performance like this, but this is just out of this world. I'm so excited I can hardly talk about it.
Well, congratulations, John, and I'm congratulating the Cubs organization through you for the performance we've watched here this afternoon. This actually is just another demonstration of at least the way the ball clubs, not only in Chicago, but everywhere in baseball, try their best to please the fans and give them something that'll really give them a memory. Here's a memory now that every guy out here will take to his grave with him.
That's right,
the day
Jack.
that Cardwell pitched his first game in a Cub uniform and threw a no-hitter at the St. Louis Cardinals. That's really something.
Best of all, of course, Warren hit the nail on the head, was that happens out here before 33,000 people. Usually these things happen with about 2,500 here, you know.
Well, you know, when they had that double no-hitter between Vaughn and Tony, there were only about 4,000 people at the park that day, but since that time, we've all talked to about 50,000 people personally who claimed they were there.
That's right.
John, congratulations, and we'll see you down in the Pink Poodle. There's going to be a little celebrating going on down there tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take just one more moment here to extend, on behalf of WGN-TV's personnel, a great big thank you to our gang for being able to get this guy on under impossible conditions. In the first place, our technical crew had the wire strung down there, ready for that mic cord to go out there. They doubled up with WGN radio. Arnie Harris of our gang went down and organized those anti-frame ushers. And between the technicians and the ushers and Vince Lloyd and Arnie Harris, even though there was an enthusiastic crowd numbering in the thousands of people down there, we were still able to get this fellow on first in the United States of America, just a matter of a minute or so after the no-hitter was official. And so on behalf of the WGN-TV organization and the rest of the family, I want to thank you guys for one of the greatest jobs you've ever turned in. And it's just typical of the esprit de corps that makes up what I know to be the most outstanding television baseball crew in all the world. There's no doubt about it. So Don Cardwell threw a no-hitter for the sake of the record. For the Cubs, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left 4 runners on base. And for St. Louis, no runs, no hits, and no errors. And 1 man was left on base. That was Grammas, who walked in the first inning. Cardwell is now 2-2 for the year. The paid attendance, 33,543 absolutely hysterical fans. The Cubs got a split for the day. This winds up the homestand, and brother, what a wind-up. Everybody moves out to Sox Park Tuesday night for that night game with Boston. We'll see you Thursday with the White Sox out there at Comiskey Park. I'm Jack Brickhouse, and so far as Oklahoma and Hams are concerned, thank you very much for the privilege of bringing you this epic, and that's it for a while.
Small cars have become a part of the American scene, and the question heard most often by their owners is, how many miles per gallon? Oklahoma customers know they get top mileage and economy with a Tiger in the tank. Exhaustive testing in the world's largest petroleum research laboratories has proved that a gasoline engine, whether designed for maximum mileage or for surging power, can deliver top performance with Oklahoma gasolines. So whether you want unleashed power or out-and-out maximum miles per gallon, put a Tiger in your tank at the friendly sign of Oklahoma, where happy motoring begins.
Oklahoma Oil Company and its many service stations and dealers throughout Illinois and Indiana, and Hams, the beer refreshing from the land of sky blue waters.
I think you've got to take away the, whatever it is, and I'm finding that out every day, Jack, second divisionitis, complacency, self-satisfied, self-sufficient. I don't like to use those kind of words. I don't think they're necessary. I don't think I should have to say to a fella that you must bear down. I demand of you to run the 90 feet. You're a professional athlete, and I think they realize this. They're being well paid for it, and I think that they will hustle. I don't think I'll have to demand it of them. And to finish off that one statement, they better hustle, Jack, or we'll back up the truck.
I think the boys, the young boys, along with the veterans, realize that this man's out here to win. He's got a lot of confidence in this ball club. He believes we're a winner. He actually believes we got the talent, we can win, and I believe it along with the other ball players.
I know the fella. I know I like the way he plays and handles men, and I've played under him so long that I just enjoyed coming back with him.
This is Long Beach, California. The Chicago Cubs are training here after 13 years in Mesa, Arizona. Long Beach is a harbor area enriched by the oil industry. That's significant because the Cubs hope to strike oil in 1966 with their new manager, 59-year-old Leo DeRocher. He's a man who came to play, a fiery and overpowering individualist with an enormous capacity for inspiring players to win baseball games. DeRocher has won his share of pennants as field leader of the Dodgers and the Giants. He's tough and brash. He's a fashion plate who pals around with Frank Sinatra. He's predicting nothing, but he insists the Cubs are a much better team than their 8th place finish of last year would indicate. The Cubs believe him. We'll see why in a moment. This is Jack Brickhouse reporting.
Well, number one, I guess you know that I'm very happy to be here, and I'm tickled to death to be managing this ball club, and I'm glad to see all you fellas. And I hope you're as happy to be here as I am. I know that, well, I'll talk about some things here, but I know this is a little different ball club, and I just want to say one thing. I don't want to say one word about what was here before I got here. In other words, prior to my coming here, the coaching staff or managership or management of this ball club has nothing to do whatsoever with me. And I have nothing to say about the way they ran the club or what they did or anything else. I'm here as the manager of this ball club. I will run this ball club the way I see fit. What they did is perfectly all right. I run a club a little bit different than they do, which you fellas will certainly see real quick. I am the manager of this ball club, and I am the only one that's going to manage this ball club. Nobody else, front office or anybody else, will run this ball club but me. Number two, any man on this club, my coaching staff, Fitzsimmons, Lockman, and Walker. Charlie Grimm is here, Buck O'Neill is here, Lou Klein, who's ever here. If they tell you to do something out on the field, fellas, it'll be just like it's coming from me. You do whatever they ask you to do. I don't care what they ask you to do. You go ahead and do it. It's perfectly all right. They won't ask you to do anything that, that I don't advocate or that isn't good for yourself. I like to see my coaches have a lot of authority, and I take a lot of suggestions from them. Any man who thinks he can run a ball club by himself is nuts. If you think you can manage a club and you're the only one that knows, you're crazy. You better have some help. I want you out there working, pepper games, running, do whatever you got to do to get in shape. Ernie Banks, Sander Williams, all Buell, Jackson. I don't have to tell you fellas, Keene. I don't have to tell you older guys how to get in shape. You got to get in shape yourself. You got to play. You got to play. You got to get ready to play. And you young guys, you know, I know you're going to get ready a lot quicker. I know when I played, I'm ready in a week. 4 days, I'm ready to play. I know the older guys are going to take their time. I'm not going to rush you, but you got to get in shape. Now about the rules on the club. 12 o'clock in your room. Of course, I can put a rule on no drinking. What good is that kind of a rule, no drinking? I can put that rule on that you can't take a drink, but I can't go and check your room, and if you want to take a drink, you'll take it on me anyway. And I say, like I've always said, you can't play this game on ginger snaps. If you want to have a drink, go ahead. That's perfectly all right with me. What I don't want, and I won't stand for, is, let's say, during the season we play night ball games, and the game is over 11:30, and I look at the clock, I say 11:30, 1:30, boys. Well, 1:30, 2 hours should be time enough to get a sandwich, a glass of beer, or a drink or something, and go to bed. What I mean is I don't want you bellying up to that bar at 2:30, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. At least don't let me catch you. And I'm liable to catch you because I'm known to have been walking around a little bit at that hour myself. I know one thing, if you give me 100% every day, I'm going to get 110 and 115 and 120 out of a lot of you. You're going to give me a little bit extra every day. And we may as well know it now. If I go out on the mound, which I very seldom do when I manage, but if I do, if I go out to the mound and take you out, and whenever you see me come out, if I go out to the mound, very seldom am I taking you out if I come out. If I come out to a pitcher and talk to you, it's very seldom I'll take you out. It's to tell you something, well, let's do this or do that to this guy, let's pitch this way or something. I may call a sign a lot of times during the season, and we get in a crucial spot, I get hunches, and I may want a certain pitch, that one pitch. I may want you to throw a certain pitch. And if you're the pitcher and you're out there shaking your head no, and that catcher keeps giving that sign, you know there's got to be a reason for it. He wouldn't keep giving it if I didn't want it. That's the one thing I want. Maybe I used to do it with Western all the time. I may call a pitch for you. I will take the responsibility.
Well, let's go over the ball club, Leo. And, of course, you still have a long way to go before you make up your mind about a lot of these fellas, I know. But since the name of the game is pitching, and I know you're great for defense, let's start taking a look at some of the pitchers. We know, of course, that there are certain fellas who are established. The Buells, the Ellsworths, the Jacksons, fellas like that. Bill Paul is probably all set. And Abernathy, of course. But what about some of the new names?
Well, of course, a fellow like Henley came awful fast last year. I didn't see him. I saw him 2 ball games. And those were the 2 ball games that he was beaten on a no-hitter by Koufax, 1-0, which you remember, Jack. Mm-hmm. And then he turned right around and beat Koufax 1-0 in Chicago. And I saw both those ball games. I think he improved tremendously the last half of the year, and he certainly figures in my plans. The young fellas on this ball club, I haven't seen enough of up at this point of Ken Holtzman, and it's a little early to decide on a fellow like that, and Dowling and Harnstein. But from my reports from Whitey Lockman and Grimm, and these fellas can really throw the ball, and they've showed me something down here this spring. And of course, I'm not about to turn these fellas loose right quick, Jack. I'm going to take another real good look at them.
Now, of course, you've got Hands and you've got Dowling. These are new names that have been thrown around that apparently can throw that ball pretty hard.
Well, I know Hands, and I've seen him pitch a few ball games. He was brought up by the Giants last year in a real tough spot, Jack. They're fighting for a pennant, and this fella has a tough time. You know, they put him right in there, and if they don't win the ball game, you know, he knows he's in a tough spot. So he didn't do as well as his minor league record indicated. But this is a real good pitcher, and I look for things. He's got a real good curveball and good fastball. I look for great things from this kid. I know that he's a major league prospect. Whether he'll be ready or not right now, that I can't tell you, Jack, but I'm going to give him a real look, too, because he's got the stuff. I want to talk about another fellow, though, for a second, Ernie Broglio. His arm is great. He looks great. He's Escondido. He threw the ball great. He's working hard. And if this fella can pitch anywhere near like I know he can pitch, what a lift and what a help he's going to give this ball club.
Let's go around the infield. Now, you've got a good double play combination in Beckert and Kessinger.
There is. I mean, after all, they were second in the league, making double plays. Of course, you could argue the point with me there and say, well, after all, a lot of men were getting on base. Maybe they were. But I know one thing, that when you've got fellas like Kessinger and Beckert to make that double play for you, you're in pretty good shape. They're going to cut that other club down.
Santos all set at third, probably, and Ernie Banks at first. but you've got several other pretty good names to play around with.
Well, of course, Boccabello, in my opinion, will be a good man to back up Banks. Now, I know he can do two things, and I love this kind of a ball player. I know he can play left field. He's a good right-handed hitter. He can play first base. This gives me protection in left field if I want to make a switch from a left-handed pitcher, and if I have, let's say, Covington or Altman were playing left field and I want to switch into a right-handed hitter, I know that Boccabello can play left field and do the job. The same as Banks. If something happens to Kessinger and I want to put Banks at short for 2 or 3 days, I can, and put Boccabello at first. I love versatility in a ball player. I don't want a ball player that plays just one position if I can help it. I'd like a fellow to be able to play two in case I need him. Not that I intend to switch let's say, a Santo or a Banks around, but I know that Santo can play shortstop if I need him. I know that Williams can play left field in preference to right if I need him. I can do these things. That's what I like in a ball club. I like to be able to move the 25 men around if I have to.
Let's take a look at some of the veteran names. Harvey Keene checked in looking pretty good. George Altman's running pretty well. Now, you balance them with young names like, we'll say, Brown and Young. You've got some decisions to make.
I have some decisions to make, but in my opinion, these are good ones, Jack. I think that this is far and away, as I said before, I think it's certainly not an 8th place ball club. I think there's too much talent on this club to be 8th. No. And I like this kind of a decision to make when you've got fellas like Keene, who, in my opinion, this spring, I've seen Harvey Keene for years. When he was in the American League, when he was with the Giants, when he was with your ball club here in Chicago before I came over here, and I've seen this fella much fatter than he is this spring. He looks great. So he must have it in his mind that I've got to go to work. Well, if he does what I think he can do, he'll be a tremendous help to this ball club. And Altman's the same. He's a good-looking ball player, and I just hope that, you know, that the good Lord watches out for the injuries for him and takes care of him.
I notice you're using Byron Brown, who was a young outfielder, as a third baseman. You're looking at him at third.
Just looked great at third base. He picks the ball up like an infielder. I know one thing. This is not in any, I don't mean this in any derogatory sense as far as Tommy Davis of the Dodgers is concerned, but Tommy Davis can't get in the same ballpark with Byron Brown playing third base right now. Tommy Davis no way could play third base as good as this boy. Well, if he can do that, and if he can play left field or center field, if this fella can do what I think he can do, what an addition he's going to be to this ball club.
We'll return in a moment to a look at the Cubs, 1966. Larry Jackson is in his 4th year as a Cub pitcher. He's also the player rep. He's one of the real hard-nosed, realistic professionals in the game today, and he's not likely to be influenced by anything but the actual facts of a situation. Larry, I know that your opinion is one of the most valued among all the players on the Cubs. How do you feel about the Cubs' chances to improve?
Jack, we've got every opportunity to improve in just about every department. We played all last year with a pretty young infield with Beckert and Kessinger at shortstop. Had Pena earlier. Now Kessinger and Beckert have played a full year. They in the last month of the season looked like a real good defensive team on the infield, and I don't see how we can't progress quite a little, particularly on the infield.
How about Larry Jackson personally? I know you told us the other night you were pretty happy to see Frank Robinson traded out of this league.
You bet. I imagine there's a lot of them, and a lot of pitchers in the National League glad to see Frank go. Me in particular, I think of any one hitter in the National League over the last 11 years, Robinson probably has given me more trouble than anybody in the league. And I wish him all the luck in the world of Baltimore, and I don't want to see him back over here either.
I know what you mean. 26-year-old Dick Ellsworth is in his 7th year with the Cubs. He and Larry Jackson were tied for the most wins on the club last year with 14, but I know you still don't consider that a satisfactory season, do you, Richard?
No, Jack. 14 ball games is a few to win, but I felt I could have had a little better year last year than I did have. And I've won 22 ball games up here, and I don't see any reason why I shouldn't win 20 ball games a season for quite a few years.
How have you gotten along with Leo DeRocher?
Fine. He seems like he's going to be a real good guy to play for. He demands a lot of work out of you, a lot of hustle all the time, but I think that's the kind of guy we're going to like to play for.
These are the eyes of one of the most talked about pitchers in baseball. Bill Fall last year practiced self-hypnosis and claims that self-hypnosis helped him win. Bill, do you plan to practice it again this year?
Yes, I do. I think self-hypnosis helped me quite a bit in my control and my endurance, and it also added something to my fastball, which is quite helpful in this game of Major League Ball. And also it helped me in positive thinking. It made me so I didn't doubt myself and made me more positive of my ability. And I think self-hypnosis has been very beneficial in my case.
Well, he can hypnotize me if it'll win ball games. Ted Abernathy established an all-time record, appearing in 84 games as a relief pitcher for the Cubs. Ted, that's quite a record. What are you looking forward to this year?
Well, Jack, I'm looking forward to another good year. Of course, everybody is asking if I'm going to make 84 appearances this year, but, I mean, like every relief pitcher, they say to be effective, they've got to pitch regular. But, of course, I know that seems like a lot of appearances, but I felt that I was just as strong at the end as I was when I started.
Among the catchers in the Cub camp are Krug, Rosnowski, veterans, John Felsky, and Hundley, Randy Hundley, who was obtained in the trade from the Giants, as among the outstanding young prospects. Randy, one of the great things about your scouting report is the fact that you have a terrific throwing arm. Have you developed this arm, or did the good Lord give it to you?
Well, the good Lord gave it to me. And of course, it's something that you have to develop also.
You like to see those guys break for second, huh?
Yeah, when I'm in the groove of throwing good, I like to see a fellow try to steal.
Are you confident that you'll hit Major League pitching?
I'll say this, that I'm looking forward to playing in Chicago and playing day baseball. I think this will help my hitting as much as anything.
What's a Cub camp without Banks and Williams? Can't even imagine one without them. 62 homers between them and 65, huh? And maybe 66 and 66?
That's right, Jack. We're looking forward to a great year in 1966. A lot of enthusiasm here in spring training. And I know Bill is going to be ready for the season, aren't you, Bill?
That's right, Ern. I'm down here trying to get ready to start the season. When the bell rings, I hope to be ready to start the season.
Any reason why this guy shouldn't hit 400?
Well, no reason. I think Bill started off real slow so he won't show the rest of the league up, and then he wait till everybody catch up, and then he start on a little steam there in July, August, and September, just run right off of everybody.
One of the two veteran new faces is Wes Covington, and if ever a fella indicated his happiness to be traded by the smile on his face, it was Wes. I saw you check in here a little while back, Wes, and you were laughing from the minute you hit the motel over there.
Yeah, it was quite a thing. I've looked forward to joining the Cubs since I was traded, and to meet some of the real stars you have like Santo and Williams and Banks, to play on the same club, and to, most of all, play with a guy like DeRocha. This guy is quite an exciting manager.
Well, you hit 15 home runs last year, but it seemed to me like you hit that many against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. You always hit well at Wrigley Field. You hit 20 points above your average at Wrigley Field.
Maybe so. I love hitting that ballpark because the ball that I hit to straightaway center field, 400 feet, is a home run there, and it's an out in other ballparks. In left center, I've been able to hit the ball to left center pretty good because they like to pitch me away, and this ball traveled 365 or 70 feet. It's a home run in Wrigley Field, so that's the difference.
Ty Klein, who was with Milwaukee last year, has been with Cleveland in the American League. And Leo DeRocher says you've got a real great chance for the center field starting job. He wants a guy who can go get him out there, Klein, and throw that ball, too, and you can do that.
Well, defense is my strong point right now, and I'm going to give it all I have and do my best job. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't had an opportunity to play in the past 3 years with Milwaukee, just a utility man, and when you come to spring training and the manager has a little confidence in you, it means a lot.
Man, oh man, oh man.
One of the reasons for the pep in the camp and the spirit in the camp has got to be as a result of the entrance onto the scene of Charlie Grimm. This is Charlie Grimm's 50th spring training camp. Charlie, you must have come to the first one at the age of about 6.
No, I wish I had of, Jack, but this is my 50th spring training camp, and believe me, Jack, I've had fun in every one of them.
Are you optimistic about the Cubs?
I am, very much so now that, in all due respect to the other fellows who are in the rotating system, I think this fellow's caught on, and the ball players have caught on to him so well. And I've been had the good fortune of going on this caravan with fellows like Ernie Banks and Williams. And, you know, ball players, good ball players, have meetings the first time they meet a particular person like Leo DeRocha. They say, well, is he a whip cracker or is he a regular guy? And I think he proved on that caravan that we had not too long ago during the winter, he proved to the Sandos and the Williams, the Banks, and all the rest of the fellows on the tour that he was one of them.
We'll return in a moment to a look at the Cubs, 1966. Have you got any messages for Stanky? We're going over to Florida after we leave here.
Well, of course, I wish Stanky the very best. I know that he's got a contending ball club right now, and I wish him all the luck in the world. It could be that we will have a World Series in Chicago in 1966. Stanky may be part of it. I'd like to be the other part.
It's been our annual custom to have the slogan for the year delivered by Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks.
The Cubs will shoot from the hip with Leo the Lip.
Next Monday night at 9:30 on Channel 9, a look at the White Sox, 1966, from Sarasota, Florida. This is Jack Brickhouse reporting. From the WGN Television Sports Library, memorable moments in Chicago sports. A glance back at events which have won a unique place in Chicagoland sports history. Entering the 1970 season, the Cubs' Ernie Banks needed 3 home runs to reach 500. The dramatic countdown started at Wrigley Field. There's a high fly deep to left. Miller and Wynn are both back. Hey! It's a home run for Banks. Attaboy, Ernie! Here's Ernie. That's it. That's way back there. Back! Well, here it is, Tuesday, May the 12th, 1970. And Ernie Banks comes to bat with 2 out and nobody on in the Cub half of the second inning against Atlanta. Score, Atlanta 2, the Cubs nothing. Ernie Banks hitting .241 at the moment. 2 home runs, 13 runs batted in. 499 lifetime homers. Here we go. Foul ball, strike 1. He has narrowly missed getting a home run the last couple of days with triples high off that wall in left. Strike 1. It's a ball, 1-1. The wind is not a big factor. It's out of the southeast at 7 miles an hour. Jarvis fires away. That's a fly ball, deep to left, back. That's it! That's it! Hey! He did it! Ernie Banks got number 500. A line drive shot into the seats in left. The ball tossed in the bullpen. Everybody on your feet. This is it. Here's the replay on it. Waist high. Good line drive shot. Here it is going into those seats in slow motion. Made it. Just over the wall. Bounced in and out. And here is one of the great moments in baseball history in the United States of America, and particularly in Chicago.
The last of the 8th, Cincinnati coming to bat with Buddy Bradford, Dave Concepcion, and Gary Nolan, the due batters. Bradford has walked both times. The bunt. It hit him. I think the throw is late, and now here comes Leo DeRocher out to claim possibly the same thing that we thought we observed. The third base umpire is being questioned about it, and he's out. He is out. That ball hit Bradford in fair territory. And as you see on the replay, and as the third base umpire corroborated, umpire Kibler, the ball hit the runner in fair territory, and he is out.
Here is Lee May, 0 for 2, walked once. Start of the night, hitting .311. Has 2 hits and 10 at-bats in the series, including a home run last night. May is scheduled to be our 10th inning guest. Here we go. 2 out of the 9th. There's strike 1, a fastball on the outside corner. The outfield straight away, very, very deep. Left side of the infield deep. Glenn Beckert at second base is playing 3 yards back on the what would be the outfield grass. There's DeRocher. He's seen a few of these. Strike 1. Here we go. Watch it now. Checks his swing. What is it? It's a ball. It bounced in and out of Breeden's glove. Check that. Wait a minute. Yes, it's 1-1. The scoreboard read strike 2, but the umpire says it's 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. Kenny Holtzman trying for his 3rd win of the year. Watch it. Swing and a miss. Ball 1, strike 2. Outfield very, very deep. Third baseman Saddle guarding the line, giving May only about 6 feet at the third base line. Joe Pepitone doing likewise at first. He's about 8 feet from the foul line and playing a very deep first base. This is Kenny Holtzman, breathing hard. Ball 1, strike 2. One more now. Come on, kid. A ball. Fastball just off the outside corner. Ball 2, strike 2. Glenn Becker spinning around in disgust at second base. Unhappy with the call. Ball 2, strike 2. The outfield very deep. Everybody on the edge of his seat here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Watch it now. Strike 3. It's a no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. He did it again. Look at this riot down there. Look at this mob scene off the Cub bench. Kenny Holtzman has pitched his second no-hitter. The Cubs win a 1-0 miracle ball game. A Hall of Fame performance by Kenny Holtzman. Look at this. Woo, boy. A standing ovation from everybody here at Cincinnati.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me.
Well hit, deep to right, back, 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 high! It's all over! Willie Smith just homered! The Cubs win the game! And look at the reception at home plate for Willie Smith. Oh, boy!
Down ball between first and second. Look out now. Here comes Stewart. This ball game is all over. Bobby Tolan comes through with a hit, scoring Stewart, and the Reds have won the ball game. Trying now to send the ball game into extra innings. There is a drive into short left. It is a base hit. The ball game is all over. Trainpool dropped one in short left. Jones scores, and the Mets win the ball game 4-3.
There's a well-hit ball. Look out. That's gone. Way back there, all the way out on Waveland Avenue, or rather on Sheffield Avenue, over the right field wall. That is a home run, and we have a brand new ball game at Wrigley Field.
There's a base hit to right. Agee rounds third. Yeti Yost waves him in. The throw in. He is safe at the plate. And Hundley is really hollering at Davidson. There's a drive, left center field. There goes the no-hitter. And Jimmy Qualls is on first base for the Cubs. So young Tom Seaver, as the crowd groans and moans its disappointment, has just seen Qualls get a base hit with 1 out in the 9th inning. He had retired 25 Cubs in a row.
There is a high fly, short center, Kessinger out, Young in, and it is Don Kessinger who catches the ball. There's a ground ball bouncing high. Santo has it. Should get his man over the banks. There's number 2 in the 9th.
That's it. Here she goes. Back, back, back. Hey, hey! Hickman did it again. Whee! Oh, brother. Oh, man. Look at this. Oh!
Setting up defensively, Ernie Banks at first base for Chicago. Len Beckert's at second. Don Kessinger's the shortstop. Ron Santo at third. Cubs have shaken up their outfield. They have Willie Smith in left field. Put the rookie Jimmy Qualls in center. They benched Don Young. And have moved Billy Williams to right field. He's been playing left field all year. The catcher is Randy Hundley. And Ferguson Jenkins. The strikeout leader of the major leagues is on the mound. He has struck out 150 this year. He's averaged just under 8 strikeouts for every 9 innings. He finished second in the National League the last 2 years in strikeouts. Jim Bunning led the league in '67, and Bob Gibson the leader last year. And this man is the only pitcher in the majors who is a 20-game winner in both '67 and '68, a Canadian.
In Europe, we had intended to take you at this time to Washington, where the President's weekly news conference is about to begin. But because of early acquisition at Andover, we got the Telstar circuit early, and the President has not yet started. So suppose we take you to a baseball game in Chicago instead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just been informed that this baseball game is being seen in Europe right now over the Telstar satellite. Let's give all the baseball fans in Europe a big hello from Chicago.
No score in the ball game. Let's point the Phillies, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Cubs, no runs, 2 hits, no errors.
Well, we realize that all of this doesn't make much sense to you folks in Europe, but if we hadn't shown you a bit of our national game on this first transatlantic show, we'd never have heard the end of it. As a matter of fact, right now, our colleagues who are doing the translating are going crazy trying to say runs, hits, and errors in Swedish and Italian. In any case, here it is, a brief glimpse of American baseball played in the biggest arena in the world, all the way from Wrigley Field in Chicago to the Coliseum in Rome.
Now graceful Ernie Banks is coming up. Shortstop made into a first baseman. When Ernie began to slow up a little bit in the field, they put him on first. He's a very good player. He's hitting hard this year, too. He's out of his slump. And a very graceful, very sportsmanlike player. He's facing King Robert, and he hits a long fly. A long fly. Hooray! 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 Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! It's a home run. Ernie comes round. Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! It's the Cubs' day. Score 2-0 in favor of the Cubs.
Well, Mr. Rickey, probably the thing you will be best known for, of all the things you've ever done in baseball, are number 1, probably the origin of the farm system, and number 2, you put the first Negro in baseball. I think at this time it might be appropriate and interesting to have you trace the story of the first Negro Jackie Robinson into baseball.
That can't be done in this interview and are hardly touched. But first of all, you ought to understand, and the world ought to understand, that there isn't any human being in America that's entitled to any credit whatever for giving another citizen of our country, I don't care anything about his color or the cephalic measurements of his head or his shin bones or anything else, that would give another man a chance to make a living at the thing that he can do the best. No credit should come to me or anybody else about that thing. Montreal deserves credit. And above all, Jackie Robinson deserves credit.
Why
he was the one that had...
Mr. Rickey?
Well, it was a French town, and there was no discrimination. There's no prejudice in the city. Everyone is accepted on the merit of what they are, their own dignity, their own personality, whatever they are, that they're taken on a merit basis. And that's the way that they ought to be taken in this country. That's our problem now.
Montreal was a Brooklyn farm town.
Brooklyn farms, we owned it. And they were marvelous about it. But you see, the man that carried the load during those first 2-3 years, more than that, was Jackie himself. He's not a natural in that field. Naturally, he's very resentful of any kind of mistreatment or insult or discrimination. He carries chips on his shoulders pretty nearly. And when he talks in anger, he talks regretfully. But he is a great character in that he was able to impose upon himself the restrictions that were necessary to carry that load for his race. He sensed that, he realized, and he did it. And nobody knows what he had to take. He's a wonderful person, that fellow.
Yes, we've met him many times.
Is there any intangible that you see that makes these superstars, the real outstanding ones, the real great stars?
Well, if you're going to be a superstar, you have to want to play baseball every day, and therefore, if you want to play baseball every day, you have to have a baseball in your hand. You have to have a bat in your hand. You have to be at the baseball park on time. You have to have baseball on your mind. You have to get where you can play with it mentally as well as physically. From your shoulders up is what you call mentally. In other words, some men are gifted they could be supermen in certain days, then other days they let down in their work. They're only interested in baseball to a certain extent on certain days. That's not a superman. He's a superman certain days. A superman is one who wants to play every day, and if he's not injured, it looks like he fights every time he's up at the plate to get a base hit. If he's in the field, he extends himself to see if he can reach and get a baseball and get it into his glove. And if he wants to play the right, he's got to memorize the hitters at night. He's got to memorize them the same as the manager that's on a ball club. Then when you get 5 or 6 men like that, you commence getting what you call lucky. Now, if you're a lucky player and a super player, you're on the club, and that's the story. What makes you lucky? Teamwork. So you have good luck in your life. Want to have bad luck, just don't have teamwork. You'll have bad luck the rest of your life.
The one that Haller hit, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
You never did pay much attention to the names of the guys you were pitching against, did you, say?
No, I hardly, from the time I come in back in 19, I won't tell you the rest of it. I never did study nothing but the numbers on the batters, that's all. I never did know no names of nobody. And it didn't never know when I was pitching to Hack Wilson, Babe Herman, and those kids back a little bit. I didn't know one from the other. And they say, you know who that you struck out? I say, who? He said, that's Hack Wilson. So he just now hit so-and-so home runs. I said, well, I didn't know him.
They tell a story about the time that Mantle turned around on you, though. He hit a home run right-handed, then just for the heck of it, or left-handed, then just for the heck of it, he batted right-handed later on, and you called the catcher out and said, what happened to that kid that done me injury the last time?
Well, the first time I really saw Mantle, he laid one down on me, and I used to could throw any kind of way I get it. I could throw from that way, you know. I had a snap throw. And I went over nonchalant to third base, and when I come back, Mickey was coming back to first, and I asked who was it, and he said, well, that's a kid just come in from down in Kansas City. Wasn't that where he come from? I think it was Kansas City. And so from then on, when he come back up again, he said, well, you're going to have to keep something on the ball or move around faster than that. I said, I'd rather keep something on the ball. And I did.
Yes, he did. And Satch, tell him about the time when you joined us 2 days after putting on a Cleveland Indian uniform. Satch thought that he perhaps wasn't looking too well in his uniform with one pair of socks on. So he borrowed 4 pairs of sweat socks from our equipment man, Sailor. And Satch hit a ground ball to deep short. The shortstop fumbled it twice, picked it up and threw Satch out by a step.
And when he came back to the dugout, he had to take off 3 pairs of socks because he said, I would have beat it out had I not had those extra pair of socks on.
Well, see, back in those days, they had all big leg. They had big bottle legs. Everybody had them. And then when I would get a pair of stockings, well, they would just swallow my leg. And so I had to invent something to kind of get a big leg, you know. And so I just got 4 or 5 pair of stockings and put them on. And then my legs come up even with all the rest of the ball players.
I'll sing Shantytown. See, in Shantytown is only a shanty in old Shantytown. Everybody, the roof is so slanty, it touches the ground. There's a tumble-down shack by an old railroad track, like a millionaire's mansion is calling me back. Well, I'd give up my palace if I were a king. It's more than a palace, it's my everything. There's a queen waiting there with a silvery crown in a shanty in old Shantytown.
It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me.
Well, now, of course, the question that everybody asks you all the time is, what happened in 1969?
I'm terribly disappointed that we didn't go all the way, that we didn't win it. The players are disappointed that we couldn't win it for Mr. Wrigley and Mr. Holland and for all our fans. But that's, like yesterday's newspaper, that's dead. We have a new outlook for 1970. We think we've got a better ball club, at least I do, and I know the players have forgotten all about it. Their desire, determination is fine. They have great spirit in the camp this spring. And as you just pointed out, we had a good year. We didn't win it, and the Mets won it. They beat everybody. They were entitled to win it. We didn't play well at all. And there's no excuses for it or no alibis. We gave it all we had, but it wasn't good enough.
Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it. The Cubs are on their way. Hey, hey, hey! Let's do it again here. Key it up a little bit. Put it back. Hey, hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it. The Cubs are on their way. Hey, 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 come on out.
There's a high fly. Center field. Matty Alou calls for it. And it drops out of his glove. Willie Smith was on second base.
When Matty Lou dropped that ball, Jack, I thought we were in. I really did. I was ready to pick up my glove when the ball was hitting the air and head for the dugout. And when he dropped, I just felt that we had it made. And I'll never forget what happened right after it.
There's a ground ball in the right field. That's going to tie up this ball game. Here comes Rudolph racing for the place. The throw is late. There's a drive into left field. That's a base hit for Glenn Beckert, and Kessinger goes to second. There's a drive left field. Here comes Kessinger. He's going to score. The ball game is over. The Cubs win it. Oh, what a finish. Woo, brother.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Wipe off the gloomy mask of tragedy. It's not your style. You feel so good that you'll be glad you decided to smile. Pick out a pleasant outlook. Stick out your noble chin. Wipe off that full of doubt look. Slap on a happy grin. Then spread sunshine all over the place. And put on a happy face. De bonne humeur je chante. He said, put on a happy face. Ich bin so glücklich heute. Means put on a happy face. It doesn't matter what the language is, it's still the same. We feel so good that we decided to sing it again. Bellissima giornata. Hey, put on a happy face. Ponte allegra vigo. Put on a happy face. We spread Berlins all over the place. So put on un heureux, put on une fête, put on a happy face.
Leo, Fergie Jenkins was 24-13 last year, and as you see it, what are his chances of becoming the Major's next 30-game winner?
Well, I think he's got a great chance because, as you well know, some of these things happen to Fergie where he gets belted around in the first or second inning. But once he gets by the third inning, and if they don't score off him, and if he's got you beat along about the 7th or 8th or 9th inning, he's like Gibson. You don't get to him then. He gets stronger right there.
The ability to communicate in a tactful way, and you need that because you're dealing with a combination of older ball players, older veterans have been around, young ball players. Especially with your young ball players today, they want to know why things happen. Why am I not playing? Why am I not in the regular lineup? So Whitey has a tactful way of doing it. He might not do it at a particular time, but he gets the point across, and he does it in a very tactful way.
Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true?
And so the Chicago Cubs have just rung down the curtain at Wrigley Field for 1974. It's been a building year, a year of joy and despair. But a nucleus of young players has given the Cubs considerable hope for the future. Soon the snow will come, and then almost overnight, we'll be back in Scottsdale, Arizona, for a look at the Cubs 1975.
That's a pretty well hit ball to right center. The ball game is over. Matlock has sent one to the wall, and Kessinger scores easily. The ball game is all over, and what a day that Matlock has had. Man alive, woo boy.
It's a very ancient saying, but a true and honest thought, that if you become a teacher, by your pupils you'll be taught. As a teacher, I've been learning, you
Forgive me if I boast, and I've now become an expert on the subject I like most. Getting to know you. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. Getting to like you. Getting to hope you like me. Getting to know you. Putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day.
Lou Boudreau here with the Cubs at spring training in Scottsdale, Arizona. I was 24 years old and all gung-ho when I became player manager at Cleveland in 1942. Time will tell how the managerial approach of the Cubs' new pilot, 63-year-old Herman Franks, compares with some of the managers of recent years.
I don't know what you were doing. You went just like that.
I never gave any indication.
I announced him.
I give no indication that he was in the game, John.
Pointed right at.
I did not. I haven't even made a move. I just sat there.
Hit by the pitch. Yeah, it was a change. All right.
Get on that base, Jimmy. Come on, we're getting some runs right here.
You most certainly did.
I
looked right in there
right
and you
next
went
to me.
just like
No,
that.
I didn't.
Why?
I did not, John.
No,
I didn't. What do you think I come out? No, I did not. There's a man right next to me knows I did.
Right over there.
I don't care what he said.
I don't care. You pointed at me.
No, I didn't.
And why you
No, I didn't, John. That's not the truth. I did not, John.
Kind of just taking the ball and throwing it, without any intent. Just take a little hesitation and think about what you're going to do with the ball, right?
I'll tell you what, right now, nice double play ball.
Yeah.
Never fooled him until he got to be 33 or 4 years old with off-speed stuff.
He's quick inside.
We got to get him looking away like an bust him inside, looking for something else. But
I did not give it to you.
Turn around and give it.
I didn't give it to you.
You did.
No, sir, I did not do it.
Of them one of these days real soon. Ernie Banks today parlayed home run power and eternal optimism to reach baseball's promised land, the Hall of Fame. Mr. Cub won baseball's highest honor in his first year of eligibility. He was the lone player selected in this year's balloting. These have been a whirlwind 24 hours for Ernie Banks, and we've captured portions of this big day on film. So let's look first and then hear live from Ernie and WGN's own Hall of Famer, Lou Boudreau. The wind is not a big factor. It's out of the southeast at 7 miles an hour. Jarvis fires away. That's a fly ball deep to left. Back.
That's it! That's it! Hooray! He did it! Ernie Banks got number 500. A line drive shot into the seats and left. The ball tossed in the bullpen. Everybody on your feet. This is it.
Here's the replay on it. Waist high, good line drive shot. Here it is, going into those seats in slow motion. Made it just over the wall, bounced in and out. And here is one of the great moments in baseball history in the United States of America, and particularly in Chicago.
There were nervous moments of anticipation in Chicago Tuesday night as Ernie Banks and his wife Alois awaited word on the Hall of Fame balloting from the Baseball Writers Association of America in New York. Banks had been advised he would receive a call from New York mid-evening, win or lose.
Hello, bonjour. Bingo is my name. I'll play 3 today. Play 4. Play 5. Yes, I know who this is. Jack Lang from New York City. I can't hear you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much, Jack. Hey, 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 hey. Wonderful. Just great. Oh, just great. I just sit here waiting. Great. Thank you.
I know what a nervous feeling Ernie Banks has. I went through the same feeling in 1970. Congratulations, Ernie.
Thank you very
It's
much,
great,
Lou.
and I'm happy for you. Now, how do you feel now that that telephone has rang and you've got the affirmative answer? You're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm just elated and highly nervous and extremely happy, and I certainly want to thank you and all the fans in Chicago for all the wonderful support that you have given me over my beautiful 20 years with the Cubs.
This is something that every ball player seeks in his career as a ball player. Very few have made it. Ernie is the 8th man in the history of baseball to reach the Hall of Fame on the first attempt. And that is the greatest honor that I could bestow upon you.
Oh, thank you very much, Lou, and I certainly appreciate all the assistance that you have given me. It's a tough thing to go through, and I'm just so happy and thrilled to be with you, and I'm so happy that you're with me tonight. I got it around 7:30, and I was tremendously excited. My wife was there, and we just jumped for joy. It was almost like hitting my last final home run in Major League Baseball.
Let me test your memory, Ernie. Home run number 500. What do you remember about it?
It was off of Pat Jarvis, Wrigley Field, 2:15 in the afternoon.
Jarvis fires away. That's the fly ball, beats the left, back.
That's it! That's it! Hey, hey! He did it! Ernie Banks got number 500. A line drive shot into the seats and left. The ball tossed in the bullpen.
When I rounded looking toward second base, I was tremendously happy to see the ball out of the ballpark and the hit number 512.
Ernie, you're a guy who's known to be always smiling no matter what, but when they mention 1969, it's not that easy, is it?
No, it's not. That was a tremendous disappointment in all our lives in Chicago not to have won the National League Eastern Division title. And
you know, we got some Mets fans watching right now.
Oh, why did you do it to us? Why? But anyway, we all cried and was very sad, and it was a tough moment in my life as it well in all other Cub players' lives.
Best pitcher you ever faced?
Best pitcher I ever faced was Sandy Koufax, outstanding left-hander for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He pitched a perfect game against us in 1962, and a strong competitor and a great man.
If only he had a fastball, right?
He could throw a wow. By the way, I'm very happy to have my good friend Bill along with me to share this happy moment. My mother here that flew in from Dallas, that given me so much inspiration as a young boy growing up, that stay with it, you can make it, be nice to people, do your job, hard work. And I'm happy to have her and my wife, Eloise, who have given me so much inspiration along the way. And motivation. You know what I mean? Yeah. She used to tell me, get out there and hit that ball or you ain't going to get it out.
Is this your greatest moment in baseball?
This is my greatest moment in baseball. The recognition is unbelievable, and I just wish that every player could have an opportunity to enjoy this, and I know Bill Madlock's going to enjoy this when he received this in a few years, 20 years from now, the excitement, the joy, the thrill that it is in being in the Hall of Fame. The recognition is unbelievable.
Did you have, seriously now, just bring yourself down a little. Did you have any real doubt about it?
Yes, I did.
Why?
The reason is, as I talk...
Don't trust the writers.
What? Wait a minute. Oh, I love you. I love you. No, I love you. I love you, really, and truly love
Well, why would you have any doubt about it?
Well, I talked to my good friend Lou Boudreau, who has been with me for a lot of years, starting back in 1960, and Lou said, listen now, it's hard to predict what's going to happen. You just have to set your balance to not too high and not too low, and just wait and see what will happen. You never know about it, and sometimes it takes a little time to get to the Hall of Fame. Ralph Connor took him 15 years to make it to the Hall of Fame, and Lou just sit down and talk to me about it, and like a brother, and I listened to him, and that's why I was a little bit in doubt whether or not I would make it on the first ballot.
This is certainly, and it will always be, the happiest day of my life. I once read that a person's success is dependent upon not only the talent that God gave him, but also upon the people who believed in him. This is certainly true as it concerns my own personal baseball career. Sure, I was the one who played the games, but if it not had been for people who believed in me and gave me the encouragement, there will be no games and I would not be here today. This great honor and recognition belongs to those people. First, my parents, who gave me the belief in myself. My wife and children, who were always there and gave me the love and enthusiasm for the game of baseball. But there is one man who is not here today to whom I owe a great debt of gratitude. One man whom I respected and admired since we first met in 1953. And that man is Philip K. Wrigley.
2 out in the 9th. Nobody on. Ball 3, strike 1 to Henry Aaron. The Cubs out in front, 3-0. There are a lot of people here right now would rather see ball 4 than see him groove one. Here we go. There's a very high foul ball off to the right. It is out of play. Ball 3, strike 2, as Kenny Holtzman. And what I have to say, a demonstration of real pitching class challenged Aaron with that pitch. And look at this crowd. Over 40,000 people here today, 41,033 total. Just delirious, hysterical with their excitement. Watch it now. Ball 3, strike 2. Here we go. Foul ball. Woo, man. Ball 3, strike 2. Three and 2. If he gets it, Lou Boudreau and Len Johnson are down there. We'll try to get him. Ball 3, strike 2. Here it goes. Ground ball. Beckert up with it. The throw to Bank. It's a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. Look at this.
We've been working with Weebolts this year. I'm learning more about women's clothes every day. Now, for example, do you know what a shadow panel is?
Well, old chap, I haven't the foggiest. What is it?
Well, it's a lining they put in women's slips.
And they have these slips at Weebolts?
Ooh, do they?
Say, don't ad-lib, just read what's on the script.
Well, Kaiser makes them in nylon, and it's light as a feather. These slips are edged with lace at the top and bottom. They sound great, huh?
They sure do.
Oh, mercy. That's the last one of those we'll get all summer, I bet.
Jackson,
yes.
This year, for the first time, Weebolts is including popular stretch pantyhose in this sale. They're regularly $3, but now you can get them for $2.39.
You haven't finished.
Yes, I did.
Woo! Oh, boy.
Go to Weebolts, gals.
Strike 3. It's a no-hitter. A no-hitter for the kid, Bert Hooton. And look at him grab him. Everybody pouring out of the bench. Fans racing onto the field. Bedlam at Wrigley Field. What a way. What a way to start the season. There's a high fly ball. Short right. Should be caught. Panzone's out there on the grass. He has it. It's a no-hitter for Pappas. A no-hitter for Milt Pappas. Oh, what a way to grab the 197th game of your entire career.
The count 2-2. Andre Dawson up, and the key player in this one, Joe West behind the plate.
Andre, what happened?
At this point in time, Charlton tried to backdoor a slider, and I felt the ball was down and away, and West hesitated in making his call, and I asked him why did he hesitate in calling a strike, and he said he had to wait because he didn't know whether it was a ball or strike, and he decided at that time. And I said, well, you know, what exactly is that supposed to mean? And he told me if I want to stay in the game, I better go and sit on the bench. And at that time, I said, well, you threatened me, and I said, you're a lot better than that. I give you credit for being better than that anyway. And he turns and has this little smirkish smile on his face, and before I knew it, I was thrown out of the game. And it wasn't like I was showing him up. I felt it was a little bit prematurely. George stepped in and tried to intervene. It was a little bit too late. I went back out. I just want an explanation, you know, why he threw me out of the game, because I felt it did come a little prematurely, and it was a bad judgment decision on his part.
I know your wife, Vanessa, was at the game last night. She's been watching you play baseball for a long time. Has she seen anything like this?
I think the only other time she saw me get upset was the time when I got hit with the pitch by Eric Shaw, but not anything like this. And, you know, I don't regret what happened. I took my frustrations out because I didn't feel I should have been ejected from the ball game. West has had problems in the past. I realized that. And I just, you know, as I said earlier, I felt it came a little bit too quick. There he is again with that little smile on his face. And, you know, I take this game very serious when I'm out there. I don't show the umpires up. I respect them for the things they do, the judgment calls that they make. And I feel out of respect, a lot of times you can ask for an explanation. Some of these guys will give it to you, and others that feel that you don't deserve it.
And now the bats start to come flying. This had to be just your own frustration at the time.
Yeah, because when I threw my helmet and when I threw my bat to the ground, he pointed as if he was going to fire me for that, and I was starting to lose it a little bit more, and I went into the dugout, and the only thing that was visible at the time were the bats. I threw them on the field, and he walked toward me, and he started counting the bats, and I picked up some more and said, you want to count them? Finish counting these.
Now, Eric Gregg got in your way. A lot of people who play the Chicago Bears know it's tough to get around William Perry. Did you feel the same way when Eric was guarding you?
Well, Eric stood right at the steps, and, you know, he is a very visible individual, and it doesn't take a great deal to realize that you can't get around him. And he was just saying to me, you know, stay in the dugout, get your glove, go in. You don't want to get yourself in any trouble.
Andre, is there any carryover going into today's game, or is what happened last night happened and you just forget about it?
You forget about it.
There's a little difficulty. We got all these so-called fucking fans that come out here and say they're Cub fans that are supposed to be behind you, ripping every fucking thing you do. I'll tell you one fucking thing. I hope we get fucking hotter than shit just to stuff it up them 3,000 fucking people that show up every fucking day. Because if they're the real Chicago fucking fans, they can kiss my fucking ass right downtown and print it. They're really, really behind you around here. My fucking ass. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Go out there and let my fucking players get destroyed every day and be quiet about it? For the fucking nickel-dime people that show up? The motherfuckers don't even work. That's why they're out at the fucking game. They ought to go out and get a fucking job and find out what it's like to go out there and a fucking living. 85% of the fucking world's working. The other 15 come out here. A fucking playground for the cocksuckers. Rip them motherfuckers. Rip them cocksuckers like the fucking players. Got guys busting their fucking ass and them fucking people boo. And that's the Cubs? My fucking ass. They talk about the great fucking support that the players get around here. I haven't seen it this fucking year. Don't ask me about any specific play. I won't answer it. I'm not going to talk about specific fucking plays. The name of the game is hit the ball, catch the ball, and get the fucking job done. Every time we lose a fucking close game, it's magnified. Why did this guy bunted and that guy pop up or this guy throw a wild pitch? That's baseball, fellas. That's going to happen. That's how runs are scored. That's how the fucking balance goes cockeyed. That's the difference between victory and defeat. Right now, we have more losses than we have wins. Everybody associated with this fucking organization have been winners their whole fucking life. Everybody. And the fucking credit is not given in that respect. The fucking changes that have happened in the Cub organization are multifold. All right, they don't show because we're 5-14. And unfortunately, that's the criteria of them dumb 15 motherfucking percent that come out to day baseball. The other 85% are earning a living. I'll tell you, it'll take more than a 5-13 or 5-14 to destroy the makeup of this club. I'll guarantee you that. There's some fucking pros out there that want to fucking play this game. But you're stuck in a fucking stigma of the fucking Dodgers and the Phillies and the Cardinals and all that cheap shit. All these motherfucking editorials about Say and fucking the Phillyitis and all that shit, it's sickening. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's a disheartening fucking situation we're in right now. Anybody that was associated with the Cub organization 4 or 5 years ago that came back and sees the multitude of progress that's been made will understand that if they're baseball people and 5-14 doesn't negate all that work. Got 143 fucking games left. What I'm trying to say is don't rip them fucking guys out there. Rip me. If you want to rip somebody, rip my fucking ass. But don't rip them fucking guys because they're giving everything they can give. And right now they're trying to do more than God gave them, and that's why we make the simple mistakes. That's exactly why. But once we hit that fucking groove, it'll flow. And it will flow. The talent's there. I don't know how to make it any clearer to you. I'm frustrated. I'll guarantee you I'm frustrated. It'd be different if I walked in this room every day at 8:30 and saw a bunch of guys that didn't give a shit. They give a shit, and it's a tough National League East. It's a tough National League, period.
Get the idea. Let's roll the tape.